these ideas might come from, than the author of Where New Ideas Come From, Stephen Johnson.
So maybe my favorite Jane Jacobs quote of all time is, new ideas need old buildings. And I think of that today, that she would have liked this place and this crowd. About a week or two ago, it was Ada Lovelace Day. As I was thinking about what to talk about today, I thought back to Ada Lovelace. Most of you know who she was. She was, in a sense, the first computer programmer, bizarrely Lord Byron's daughter. But she got connected to Charles Babbage, who created the first kind of non-functioning but kind of sketched out the first programmable computer in the middle of the 19th century. And Ada Lovelace wrote out in a footnote to a translation of an Italian essay, she wrote out really the first kind of computer algorithm. And there's some debate about whether Babbage had actually written it or whether she wrote it originally. But the one thing that is never said about Ada Lovelace that is just as important is that in that same extended footnote, she talked about how this invention of Babbage, this digital computer that he was creating, programmable computer that he was creating, could be used not just for kind of calculating numbers and doing math, which is all Babbage ever saw it as being good for, but also for potentially doing things like composing music. And it was precisely because she had come to this problem with both a math background and a musical background that she was able to see in this kind of raw number crunching device that it was actually capable of something radically different. That it had this, in a sense, kind of emergent potential for turning a tool designed for calculating into a tool designed for, or capable of creating song. And it was really the first vision of the open-endedness of the digital revolution and all the extraordinary new uses that these tools have been put to. And so as we think about inventing these new sets of social relations, I want us to think like Ada in two different ways. The first is to have that diversity of influence, right? She was able to have this vision and to see this new solution precisely because she was trained in multiple fields. And so often the great ideas come from kind of taking one idea, one metaphor, one technology from one field and porting it over into a new context, putting it to new use. Is actually an evolutionary version of that, what we call exaptation, where a trait that evolved for one purpose turns out to be surprisingly good at something else. That, in many ways, is the seed of true innovation, is that movement, that migration across borders. So diversify your interests. Get out of the filter bubble. Surround yourself with people who are working on different kinds of problems. And then also, in thinking like Ada, remind ourselves that a lot of the technology out there that already exists can be exapted, can be put to new uses. We don't need to invent things from scratch. That's one of the great kind of virtues of the kind of hacker ethos, is that you've got a bunch of parts already. Let's remix them and recombine them and turn them into something new. Because that's more efficient, right? It's easier to take the old stuff and rejigger it and turn it into something new. And that creative power, that exaptive power of innovating with the old tools, I think is going to drive some of the most important revolutions that we have, that we're in the middle of building right now. So use old tools to build new ideas and think like Ada. Thank you.